And then I kind of want to circle back. You mentioned that you wanted, when you were taking the kids to Ghana, that you're preparing them to be citizens of the world. So can we touch on that real quick? What does it mean to be a citizen of the world?
So really them understanding that the world is theirs, and especially as they walk through their world, their bubble in a borough of New York or a small rural town in Mississippi, that's a lot of times all that they know, and that's
Mhm.
all that they think exists. And so when they're able to travel, a lot of times they're checking boxes on standardized tests, that's asking them if they're a minority, they're being told they're a minority. And when they go outside of the world and they actually are able to physically see that globally there's a majority. There's Black
Mm.
people in almost every part of the world, from Asia to Australia to certainly South America, and of course Africa, all over Europe, like literally everywhere. And so when they're able to see that, I think they walk through the world taller. Like they stand
Yeah.
taller, they walk straighter, they can become more proud. You can't really tell them that they're the minority when they can see, like, globally they're the majority. That's something that they can be proud of. And so I think when it comes to being a citizen of the world, it gives them an opportunity. And this is adults too. This is what I found when I started it. And I had so many women asking me to create these experiences for them. It's like the child in us never got to see this part.
Yes.
Even as we graduated and went to these esteemed universities and got these big corporate jobs, and now we can pay for travel, they still are only going to Europe, or they're
Yep.
still only going to a resort in the Caribbean and sitting there, not truly experiencing the culture. So this is really for all of us to really shift and reimagine how we see Africa, how we see ourselves, and our place in global society.
Yeah.
And so being a citizen of the world is just like understanding that there's so much more than just my bubble. Even if it's a
Hmm.
corporate bubble, or even if you're a young person and your whole world is your high school or your county, when you realize that there's more, I think that gives you an opportunity to kind of reach for more, to dream for more. And that's essentially what I want for everybody.
Oh, I love that. And you know what? Like what you're describing is like inner child work, and it's like even more healing. I think when we talk about or we think about like healing and being on a healing journey, we typically think about like, either we're gonna like start exercising or we're gonna like go to therapy. Both of those things are great, but there is so much more that we can do when it comes to our wellness and our growth. And I think travel is such a beautiful way to do that, like to sometimes get out of our comfort zone. And not only that, but all the things that you just said too, so that we can see ourselves in different spaces, and just also to do the things that we wish that we could have done when we were kids. But now that we have the finances and that we have the agency, we actually can do it. So I appreciate the work that you're doing. I think it's incredible. And I want people to associate travel and these experiences with growing and with doing like the inner work. It looks different. And this is an important part.
I'm really glad you brought that up. I actually wrote an article for Blavity, and the title was Why Travel is Radical Self-Care.
Mm.
And you really like hit the nail on the head. It's We always talk about, oh, the spa day, or let me work out, or what am I putting into my body? And of course those things make a lot of sense. And certainly we're having the conversation around therapy a lot more, which is so good to see. But I think we are definitely missing that part around travel. And I
Mm-hmm.
think a lot of it, sometimes I think with social media, I don't know, it's kind of a gift and a curse. It depends on who you're following. But I think social media is helping to see that travel is more possible because a lot more people are doing it,
Mm-hmm.
but they're also doing it in a way where maybe it can feel intimidating or impossible, because a lot of people think I'm rich and I'm not,
Mm-hmm.
because I've been so many places. And so sometimes these highlight reels that people are posting, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to describe it, but you know what I mean, when it's
I
just like,
do.
oh, you're at the Ritz Carlton and you are flying first class, and
Yep.
great for the people who are, but for the
Mm-hmm.
people who are not able to do that, that doesn't mean that you're not able to travel. Travel
Yes.
doesn't look just like that. Travel
Yep.
can really be just going outside of your state to a different place. There's waterfalls in the US, there's,
Mm-hmm.
mountains, there's beauty there. And just the idea of you trusting yourself and doing something for yourself, and look really beautiful. And then really digging deeper, when we think about our finances, there's things that we put a lot of weight on, that we're spending money on, that maybe we could look at differently and put more
Sure.
weight into travel, and how good that can be for us, because there's places you can go internationally that doesn't cost half as much as maybe your coffee or out to eat budget or, things
Yeah.
like that. And so I actually want to do a lot more coaching around our mindset, around money, travel, and our liberation, because I
Mm-hmm.
think we get stuck and thinking it has to look a certain way. How I saw this person do it on Instagram, and I'm not there yet, so I can't do it. And also, I don't need to do it because I'm already maybe in therapy. But travel is so
Right.
therapeutic that there's just
Yes.
other ways, holistic ways that you can pour into yourself. And I want other people to just really see that and kind of and just try it on.
Yeah, for sure. And I think two things. One is that I think it's easy for us to have a budget for like our hair and our nails and whatever else because it's like our normal, right?